his photos to me, and I thought, oh my god, these are so cool. It really started. It really brings to mind the necessity to take photos. What you document in life, anything that you take photos of, it may not be that interesting right now, but actually through time it becomes interesting. Time becomes a player in the photos that you take, in all of your experiences. Through time they become these different entities, and especially if you capture them on film, because film has this beauty to it that also decays. It's like the bread that decays. Film also decays, and you can see this magenta shift. Basically, when film after 20-30 years, the colors shift to magenta, and you will see this in old film that hasn't been taken care of, a la the photos of poor Uncle Carl that didn't know he's a photographer. But I really think that Uncle Carl was a very interesting photographer, and I really want his photos to be seen. And he's long gone. But there is this innocence and beauty in the photos of a man who didn't think that he was a photographer, but just was taking snapshots around the world of his work. So we're going to start with the first slide. I guess Jillian, you can come in and present, and I will be the one. I'll do it.
You know how to focus
yes,
it? Okay, incredible.
Beautiful. I'll point at you because there's comedic timing. So Arya did a great job introducing me and Carl, and it was already kind of what I had written down about him. So I inherited thousands of boxes, or thousands of photos in many boxes in a storage unit that my family was like, we don't have time to go through this. It's just pictures of railroads. Have fun. And so the last 3 years I've been going through it, and some of the photos, as you will see, you can be the judge of what you think, but I've curated a little story for you. So first slide. So Uncle Carl told a lot of tall tales, and I didn't know which ones were true and which ones were fake. Like he said, he went to lunch with Hillary Clinton, and really what he meant was Hillary Clinton was like at a table, like really far away at a restaurant that she had been at years ago. And you can focus it with the little thingamabob. Yeah, for some reason the focus changes with each photo. And he also told me he went to every country in the world. And I didn't really believe that because there are a lot of countries in the world, and a lot of them as an American you can't travel to. But when I went through all of his photos, I realized he kind of had been to every country in the world. And my family says he was an art dealer, and I don't think that's a real job. And I like to pretend he was a spy, or he was just like wandering, and he apparently would get grants to do things, but I'm not really sure what those grants were. So anyway, yeah. So I started to steward all of these photographs, and that's what you're about to see now.
I am so sorry.
This is one of them.
This is my projector going.
What year this obviously was
So all of the photos that I'm about to show you will be from the late 60s to late 70s, so it's about a 10-year period. And one of the funny things is that when digital photography came out, Carl didn't know how SD cards worked. So when he would fill up the SD card, he thought the camera was done, and he would buy a new camera. And so I haven't gone through any of his digital stuff, so this is just his film photography. I have no idea what the digital stuff looks like. All right, next slide. So, at least not until he passed away and I became the steward of thousands and thousands of 35mm slide photographs, I started to realize that maybe his adventures were true. You can go to the next one. Uncle Carl is also not really my uncle. He's more like my grandma's cousin, but that's besides the point. I started to get a wider picture of him. And I took upon the impossible task of knowing an unknowable person through places that don't exist anymore. Places of a different time, as the past is a country we cannot travel to. He left behind images of countries no longer on maps, of children grown up or no longer with us. And let's hold on this one. So, these men at a bus stop in Cairo remind me that a projection is another word for ghost. That photography takes a bucket from the river of time and holds it ever so still and suspended. They're all staring at Carl, and I don't know why. And a little suspicious. So many emotions going on here, but we'll never know. Next one. And some people don't want to be looked at. Carl had very little social awareness, and that's probably why he took such great pictures. One of the family stories is that he was shot at with arrows taking a photo of someone, and I couldn't find the photo that I think that was of. Maybe it's one of those digital ones on the SD cards. But you know, I actually think people do have a right to be mad when you take a picture of them, and completely valid. You should be mad at Carl if he does this to you, but the result is very beautiful sometimes. So he was sort of just walking around, a kind of a ghost himself, ending up in situations I can only speculate from what's left behind. The insane thing is, next one. Like Arya said, Carl didn't consider himself a photographer, and that's what's crazy. He thought of himself more as an anthropologist, so he was just sort of experiencing the world around him. He didn't know what ISO was, probably. He didn't really care about shutter speed, and yet he was capturing things like this. A bustling market on the steps of a church in Guatemala. And I imagine the sounds and delicious smells, and he was probably having the time of his life, just beaming, experiencing so much going on around him. And as I said, he was very much not a photographer when digital, I already told this story, but it's really inspiring to me because I think people can get really caught up in like, what camera do I buy? What classes do I take? How do I be a better photographer? And that's great to like be into the technical aspect of photography, but really what matters is kind of the soul that you bring to looking at other people or other things or your own voice and experience. And oh yeah, this one's crazy. So this is on the border of Mozambique, and I don't know why this car is overturned, why the bus has pulled over, why people have guns out, why the woman in a blue dress is staring at Carl why they're all looking to the side, but I just know it was a crazy time. And don't get me wrong, most of the photos just kind of look like a Google Street View. So I have, I'm only showing you 3 of these, but I have like bins and bins that I didn't even digitize because it's just photos that you could go on Google Street View for. Kind of like this. And Carl, he came, so I'm from Arizona, and Carl lived in New York, and he came to visit me in Arizona, and he was like, "You have the most beautiful highways in Arizona." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I guess." And then suddenly I was on the highway in Arizona. I'm like, we do kind of have pretty nice highways. And I realized he had seen highways from every country. So this is a bus in Adelaide, Australia. And he was like, "What are people doing on the bus in Adelaide, Australia? Let's find out." He just really, really liked transportation and roads and all the mundane things that in every part of the world is mundane. Like this street in Malawi.
Jillian.
Yeah?
What was your question?
We have a question.
Where was the last picture?
This toilet
Yeah.
is in India. Yeah.
question as well. Are they labeled? Like, how are you so aware of all the locations?
Each slide he wrote in handwriting. If you want to look afterward, I can show you what it looks like on the slide that's in this projector. But he wrote in pencil the place, and it has the date etched onto it.
Wow.
And also this street scene in Hyderabad, India. The mundane and sacred became blurred, a matter of perspective. To be reborn, to see with fresh eyes, all scenes are strange no matter where they are. A haircut in Merida, Mexico. A preschool in the Czech Republic. A Gai Jatra festival procession in Nepal. Cotton candy eaters in Venice. A girl in her family's car in India. A boy just tall enough for the entrance of a hut in New Guinea. 2 boys in Tehran. And also 2 boys along the Niger River. How did Carl get there? I don't know. A boy in the Dominican Republic entering the bus.
Whoa, is it like
Double exposure.
Wow.
And this, I wrote it down somewhere, is a tattoo in the Solomon Islands, marking a coming of age. And you can see the tattoos on the person giving the tattoo as well. A fishing net in Brazil. And the result of that catch. Vendors in Nigeria. A different coming of age in London. A new house in Khartoum, Sudan. A water cellar in Turkey.
Do you know which city this was?
I think it was Istanbul. A duck herder in Bali. I like that he's holding one of the ducks. Like the duck is like mischievous and needs to be held and can't stay in line. Pounding wheat in Mali. And I like to think that the boy in the earlier photo in New Guinea at the hut is all grown up now, and that's how tall he is. He's holding an umbrella, if you look. I actually just noticed this now. I love his umbrella. And his hairstyle, sorry. His hairstyle is insane. Yeah, this is such a fit. I thought, it's so much fun to project this because I can see it. I can see so many details every time. And carrying baskets in India. And so a lot of these photos in New Guinea are actually taken at an event called the Mount Hagen Cultural Festival. And this is where over 100 tribes show up and show off their individual styles. And New Guinea is the most linguistically diverse country in the world with 840 living languages. Nearly 12% of known languages on Earth in one country, one small country. And so everyone gathers and shows off what their tribe has to offer, does dances. It's like a whole week of different festivities that Carl went to and took a lot of photos. And then this is in Bombay. This guy is such a model. He's
modeling.
Yeah. And also in Bombay, a brothel that people are passing by. And I was hoping that Carl would also have photos in the red light district of Amsterdam, but he did not, for comparison. A wedding in Japan, An older woman looking from afar, maybe in jealousy, maybe in pride, can only speculate, but. And also in New Guinea, playing a conch shell, smoking a cigarette in Mali while at the loom, carrying fruit in Bali. And you can focus this one a little bit more. So this is an Ethiopian Orthodox priest, one of the oldest sects of Christianity. The church claims to have the original Ark of the Covenant in a chapel at Aksum, which I think is sick. And then this is the Great Mosque of Mopti, where mud is reapplied to the walls every year as a community celebration. You can focus this one too. I don't know if he is blind or if his eyes are closed, but he is just serene.
So did you get a lot out of the research? Like you had to find out about the festival through researching the experience?
I did some research on some of these, because he just wrote one little word, and then I would look up what these things are.
So like besides what he wrote on the slides itself, there's not the documentation that he left behind?
He left behind one piece of paper that had it wrote down like year and where he went, and I don't know where I have it somewhere. I don't know what happened to it. And this is a woman and child in Ethiopia walking together, but I just really like this facial expression. And some older people hanging out in the USSR. Carl was just walking around in the USSR. I don't know how he got a visa for that. And then here he is on the Trans-Siberian Railroad. And I don't know what he did to make them laugh at him, but he was probably up to no good. And some babushkas in Poland, and they're still working the farms. That's the crazy part. They are hard at work tilling that land, and they are happy about it. Very proud. And then he also stumbled upon a funeral in Mashhad, pre-revolution Iran. And he wasn't invited to this funeral, I don't think. He just ended up here.
Is that a part of the funeral?
Yeah, this is part of the funeral. So, as death sits heavy on our minds, as dry and endless as the Atacama Desert with no way out in sight, we can find meaning in our subjectivity, our own unique perspective for bearing witness to this. This vast, chaotic humanity we've been born into. We all have something to see, to draw closer, to feel, something that comments just as much about our own culture and way of seeing as it does about those we look at. Keep up the struggle, keep bearing witness to the world in your own way. And maybe your great niece, twice removed, will go through all of your archival images and discover something and maybe learn something about the world based on that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Wow.
I've never shared that with anyone in this format, so this is really special.
Well, thank you, Jillian. That was really beautiful. So it's really, I hope that everybody takes photos, toss your phones, get a camera.